Hey, what's up, my friend? So, welcome to this month's April special market report. In today's video, we'll look at two of the trades that I took recently, right? Both the winner and the loser, as well as, share with you a couple of trading setups that I'll be looking at over the next few days or next few weeks, depending, how long it takes to unfold itself. So, without further ado, let's begin, right? So, uh, first one is a pound Canadian. Okay, so pound Canadian, right? So this the two setups that I'm going to share with you, right? It's something that I actually cover extensively in something called Pro Traders Age. It's a weekly video that I do for my members. If you want to learn more, I'll share the details later on. But first, right, pound Canadian. This market over here, you see, price broke out of this area of resistance over here, right? Price tested once, twice. There's a third time over here as well. 1, 2, 3. Price broke out. Do a retest. Then started to consolidate within this choppy area. So one thing to share with you is that if you notice the daily, right, the price looks like it's chopping up and down. Chances are when you go down to a lower time frame, like say the 4-hour time frame, you will be able to see the market structure more clearly. Okay, so let me explain to you what I mean. So you can see that over here, the daily price is chopping up and down, and it's at this area of support over here. So on the 4-hour time frame, okay, you can see that now what I just mentioned is that the market structure is clearer now because things have started to slow down. It's no longer the daily time frame. It's a smaller time frame, so you can see the ebb and flow of the markets more clearly. And this is the area of support I mentioned here, and this is the area of resistance. So to me, right, when you saw the big picture earlier, you noticed that the daily is in an uptrend. The price broke out of resistance. So this over here, right, is where the previous resistance became support. And at this juncture, okay, over here, I noticed that there was a false break set up over here. So what is a false break? A false break is when the price breaks a key market level but didn't have any follow through. Instead, it reversed back in the opposite direction. So in this case, you can see that the market broke below this area of support, right? Quite, strongly. And subsequently, a few candles later, it reversed and closes back up into this area of support. So you can imagine, right, traders who got short, they are now trapped because they short the markets and the market reversed, they are in the red. So I want to profit, right, from trap traders. That's how, we make money. We profit from traders, right, who are losing, right? Trading is a zero-sum game. So this one over here is where I went long, right, on this false break pattern. Basically, when the price breaks and closes above support, I went long, have my stops right below this this swing low over here. And the way I manage this trade is that I noticed that this market, right, usually when it does a false break, right, it should swing back up, right, as quickly as it came back down. So you can see that over here, it swing back up as quickly as it came down over here. Then it swing down equally quick, then swing up. And you get my point, right? Swing up, consolidate, and then swing down relatively quickly. So in this point, right, I'm thinking, right, okay, there's a false break over here. I'm expecting the market to swing up pretty quickly. So I'm trailing my stop loss over here, right, on the prior candle low. So if the price were to break and close below the previous candle low, I'll exit the trade. So this trade management is a little bit more aggressive because you might get stopped out on a pullback. Okay, but as I shared with you, right, I'm just wanting to capture this one swing over here on pound Canadian. And in this case, right, I pretty much got stopped out for a loss on this trade, right, over here. Price, you can see break and close below the prior candle low, and I got stopped out. So this trade, to me, it's a loss on this trade, a small loss. But after which the price just keeps chopping up and down, and I'm out of here, right? I have no interest to trade this market's price action anymore, at least not at this point in time. So this is for pound Canadian. The next thing that I want to share is gold. Okay, gold. Let's see gold. So again, looking at the daily time frame, notice that gold. So what I was actually looking for is that for the price to come into this area of support, right? And to bounce off this trend line as well. So now you have the trend line plus area of support, and this really makes this a very strong level. You just pay attention to your charts, right? Whenever support coincides with trend line, that area usually, right, has a high probability of reversal. So this one came close, but not close enough, but still it warrant a valid trading setup for me. So one thing that I want to point out is that on gold, notice that prior to this upward move, right, we have this thing what we call a volatility contraction. So this is a pattern a phenomenon in the market, right, where I have talked about quite a few times, right? So usually when the market goes into a volatility contraction, what happens is that volatility tends to expand after that, right? It goes into like a sleep in a slumber, then boom, wakes up. Then when it wakes up, right, after it goes back into a sleep in the slumber, and then boom, it wakes up. So you can see a few times it happening right over here. Volatility contraction, then it wakes up, volatility contraction, wakes up, volatility expansion, and this was just a little bit of choppy move. Then you have this volatility contraction over here again. And what happened is the market went up and reversed. But nonetheless, right, let me explain to you, where I got in and out of the trade. So if you look at the 4-hour time frame, okay, so you notice that this market over here, right, this is the volatility contraction that you saw earlier on the daily time frame, this portion. So when it came down lower, right, I was looking to buy the breakout of this this so-called consolidation, because you saw earlier the daily was in a volatility contraction, and as I mentioned, usually when the price makes a move, right, volatility, it tends to expand. So I need an entry trigger for this, right? So usually when I time my entry, when I go down to a lower time frame and I know that I'm buying against so-called the trend, right? Because if you look at this, the lower time frame, right, it's somewhat in a downtrend because there is this down move over here. So I don't want to be trading or catching a falling knife, buying into this downtrend. I want to sort of let the market tell me that it's ready to break out higher. So usually I use a 50 MA as a filter. Okay, so you can see that it's 50 MA. So as long as the price is below the 50 MA, I don't buy, because it's telling me that the sellers are still in control. Until the price can break above the 50 MA, then, right, only would I consider buying. I don't use the 50 MA as a trigger. I just use it as a filter, right? Only if the price is above it, then I would consider buying. So in this case, right, my entry trigger came in the form of this very typical breakout, right? Just price break and close above this area of resistance, right? Notice the price break and close above the resistance, plus above this 50 MA, which is a valid filter for me, saying that, hey, Rayner, now you can buy. Come on, let's buy. So that's where I got long, right? I went long on the next candle open. Stop loss in this case, right, I just had it somewhere about this level over here. Okay, and then the price moved up higher. And in this case, right, I am just trailing my stop loss. I was trailing my stop loss on the 8-hour time frame. Okay, the reason why I do it on the 8-hour time frame is because I wanted to ride the move longer, because when I look at this, right, I notice that the price action is quite favorable. I'm in an uptrend, okay? And on top of it, right, the market structure is showing signs of strength, right? Because when you look at this, right, when it breaks up above here, right, at this point, I have somewhat of a higher high and a higher low over here. So this could possibly, right, be the start of a, like, so-called, I wouldn't say a new uptrend, because it's all relative, right? But in this case, right, after this down move over here, this could be the potential accumulation stage where price breaks out and then goes back up higher, possibly retesting this highs and this highs. So at this juncture, I decided to give my trade a little bit more breathing room. So I was trailing my stop loss on the 8-hour time frame. So that's what I did. And on the 8-hour time frame, you can see over here, didn't really get the big move, right? So when the price break and close below this this prior candle low, right, is when I exited the trade. So you can see that in terms of trailing stop loss, there really isn't like a one size fits all. There isn't like which market is best to trail your stop loss, which time frame, which market. There really isn't a best. It's really all about your trading goals, right? And what you're trying to get out of the trade. So for the pound Canadian, I was just trying to get a one swing, because I noticed on the daily it was chopping up and down. I just want to get one swing out of that market structure. But for gold, right, I noticed on the higher time frame, right, the market is trending pretty nicely. You look at this backwards, it's trending pretty nicely. Higher highs, higher lows, right? Could possibly retest this highs or even this highs over here. So this is where my trailing stop loss got a little bit more, I would say more leeway, more room for the trade to run. But in this case, it didn't really run to my desired level. In fact, it just reversed smack at this 1306 area. So this is where I exit when it breaks and close below the prior candle low. Okay, so this is it's a gain about a 0.5 R for me. So all in all, right, small gain here on gold. All right, so there's a couple of trades to share with you of what I've been through. But really, if you're enjoying it, right, I'll share with you more details in Pro Trader Sage, because this is what I do every single week for the members, for my members. So moving on, I want to talk about a couple of trading setups that are worth watching. So first thing, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, so as you mentioned, right, again, let's go back to market principles. What did I just share earlier? I said that when the market goes into a low volatility environment, right, volatility tends to expand. And whether you're trading Bitcoin, whether you're trading FX, whether you're trading whatever markets, right, this phenomenon usually happens. So you can see it over here, volatility contraction over here, range of the candles getting smaller and smaller. And what happened? Boom! Massive volatility expansion. Then we talk about, when market is wild, when it's volatile, chances are, all the players who are interested, they are already in the markets. And when everybody's in the markets, right, markets tends to go to sleep. Okay, so in this case, again, look at this portion, volatility went quiet. Just look at the range of the candles. Just compare this range of the candles with this range of the candles. And you can see what I mean by volatility expansion and contraction. So at this point, right, I was looking at, I'm not sure whether I covered it in the previous market analysis or the previous one, but we mentioned that, hey, we have a series of higher lows coming into resistance. Plus, volatility is low. Let's look at the range of the candles. We have a good chance of the price breaking out above these highs. And price did break out above the high. So really depending on whether you trade Bitcoin or not. To be honest, I don't trade Bitcoin. I just don't have a broker that, offers a favorable transaction cost for me to trade. So I don't trade it, but I analyze it because price action is price action. So Bitcoin break out above it, and at this point, right, again, if you look through videos where I talk about, how to avoid false breakout, I say that don't chase the markets, right? If you chase the markets over here, the logical place to put your stop loss is at least below this market structure, which is this previous resistance turn support, and your stops would have to be, somewhere here below the market structure, and it's going to be pretty darn wide. So usually in cases like this, right, just let the trade go, okay? So you can see that right now Bitcoin is it tried to break above this highs, didn't follow through. So if you ask me, right, if you want to buy Bitcoin right now, my take on it is that, a couple of ways you can do it. Number one, a straightforward approach is that, you could wait for a retest of this previous market structure, previous resistance then support, right? And you can look for a bullish, price action over here on the daily or on the lower time frame, right, to look for buying opportunity around the 4,000 area. Another way is you can go down to the lower time frame on the 4-hour time frame, okay, and you'll notice that this over here is an area of support over here. So what could possibly happen is that we can look for a false break setup similar to what we've seen on the pound Canadian earlier. The price could come in, do a false break, and then close strongly back above this area of support. And if that happens, right, you might consider, wanting to buy Bitcoin, because now you have this level to reference to set your stop loss. Could just go below this swing low, possibly somewhere about here. And in terms of trade management, again, remember I said something about it depends on your goals. So are you trying to just capture this one swing here on Bitcoin? Just one swing? If that's the case, you can just, trail it on this 4-hour time frame. Or are you trying to capture maybe a bigger move like you seen earlier on the daily time frame of Bitcoin? It's pretty much bullish in an uptrend. If that's the case, you can trail your stops on the 8-hour time frame or even the daily time frame. It's up to you, okay? But this is my take on Bitcoin and something that's worth watching. And finally, right, just one last market to share with you because I think it's worth watching as well. Well, just this. Oh, there, this one. Wonder what was I looking, right? It's down there in my face. So WTI, right? So this is Western Texas Oil. It's the oil market, and you notice that this market has been in a nice steady uptrend. So one tip to share with you is that no, I don't want to be a buyer at this point in time. Why is that? Because it's something that I share is that the market, it tends to move in an ebb and flow, right? So if you can identify an area of value on the market, chances are is that you want to be buying as near as possible at the area of value. So where is the area of value on this oil market? So if you just pull out the 20 MA, right, you notice that this market tends to bounce off the 20 MA, right? Once, twice, 3, almost 4 times here. And if you want to be buying over here, right, again, where do you have to put your stop loss? Chances are it's gonna be below the 20 MA because if the pullback comes and your stop loss is anywhere here, here, or here, you're gonna get stopped out, right, at a level where you should technically still be in the trade because the trend, the move is still validated. So really, right, if you want to buy, look to buy at this near the 20 MA because that's when you can just have your stops below the 20 MA somewhere here, right? And the 20 MA right, can serve as a barrier, an obstacle, right, to help you hold up these higher prices. So really don't want to be buying at this level, right? Let the price come to you. So now the question is, right, you have identified an area of value, right? Now the question is, where do you enter? So if you ask me, right, I would say the 4-hour time frame, right, provides opportunity for it. So if you just look at this swing low over here, okay, let me just change this to blue color so you can kind of, reference it. Okay, and if you look at the daily time frame, right, that swing low coincide with the 20 MA on the daily time frame. So this to me is a very high probability reversal area. No guarantee it will reverse, right? But if the price comes to that level and it shows me a sign of strength, right, rejection of lower prices, okay, I want to be buying at that area. So on the 4-hour time frame, right, what I'll be looking for is, again, price coming to this level, give me a false break and close above it. I want to buy, right? This to me, it's a setup that I want to take over and over again, right? As you've seen, right? Daily time frame is in an uptrend, right? This level coincides with the 20 MA on a daily time frame. Plus, you have this area of support on the 4-hour time frame. Then plus, if you have this false break setup, man, it's just screaming buy, 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 buy. Right? So that's what I'm gonna do, right? So that is for the WTI setup that I'm looking for. In terms of trade management, again, as I explained, right, it really depends on your goals, and how you want to, manage the trade. You can just take one swing, or if you want to ride it longer, you can trail your stops on the higher time frame, like the 8-hour or the daily time frame. It's really up to you. Okay, so that is for what I have for you in this month's April special market report. And as mentioned, right, if you want to learn more about Pro Traders Edge and what I do, right, let me bring you in, right, for a sneak peek into the members area. Okay, so I just want to take this moment and walk you through, right, so you know what to expect when you get your Pro Traders Edge membership. So when you log in, right, this is what you'll see. Over here, we have the Backtest Research Lab, the weekly trade alerts, trading community, top trading and investing books, webinars, premium trading strategy guides, trading checklists, and the proprietary trading indicators vault. So if you go to the Backtest Research Lab, right, you'll realize that each month you'll get a new piece of research, right, that shares with you, right, what works and what don't in the financial markets. So these are a couple of piece of research to get you started with when you get your Pro Traders Edge membership. So you can see that, for example, we look at the breakouts one. Okay, so you can see that it's all backed by statistics and numbers, and you can even download the PDF transcript of the research if you wish to. So moving on, right, back to the Pro Traders Edge, you also have the weekly trade alerts. This is where each week, okay, right now it's 2019, right, I share with you my best trading ideas, right, and market insights for the following week. We cover mainly the Forex and futures market. So if you trade Forex or futures market, like, the indices, right, gold, oil, etc., then hey, this weekly trade alerts or weekly market analysis is going to be really beneficial to you. I share with you my thought process, the trades I took, why I took them, how I took them, my wins, my loss, everything, right? It's all in this weekly video that I publish. So you can see that we have a archive of all the videos that I've done. You can look through it, study my thought process, and it's one of the fastest way, right, to kind of copy or take my trading experience, copy paste into your head. Okay, so that's for the weekly trade alerts. Then we have this trading community where you can come in and chat with traders who are online, right? I check the chat every day in the main chat room. So you got any questions, right? If I see it, I can. If I feel that I'm able to answer it, I'll do my best to help. Then we also have this premium trading strategy guides, which I update regularly. So basically, right, these guides are all my most popular blog posts in PDF format. So you can just click on it. You can download it to your computer and reference it, read it anytime you want, offline or online. So these are the list of trading guides I have. Like, for example, breakout trading. You click on this, right? You go to a drive where you can download this entire PDF for free. It comes with your membership, right, as a Pro Traders Edge member. Then we have webinars, right? Exclusive webinars that I've not shared elsewhere. It's not on my YouTube channel. You can't get it elsewhere. So, for example, webinars, we have different types of webinars. Like, for example, Trend Trading Bootcamp, right? It's a 4-part webinar, right? Day 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, each webinar is about an hour long. So this Trend Trading Bootcamp is almost 4 hours, right? Of 4 or 5 hours of trading knowledge over here. Okay, and then you have different webinars. Some talks about technical indicators, some about part-time trading and stuff like that. Then we also have recommended trading and investing books, right, for you guys and girls. Then we have trading checklists, right, for those of you who trade Forex or stocks, right. I got some useful checklists that you can use before you put on a trade, whether it's about knowing whether you should buy or sell, or whether you have the appropriate risk management for the trade that you're going to take. So these are all trading checklists that will help you in your trading as well. And not forgetting, right, proprietary trading indicators vault. So this is actually proprietary trading indicators for MT4 users. So you can see that we have a number of custom-made indicators for MT4 users. So for example, MACD, if you're using MT4, the default MACD indicator is a bit flawed, right? You notice that the MACD don't look like the normal MACD. So I have this special custom indicator to fix it, and I enhance it, right? So you can actually use it on multiple time frames as well. Also got Donchen channel, news reporter that tells you when a major news release is going to occur, so you are aware of it, right? Before you put on the trade and realize, hey, news came out and you got stopped out. So this indicator, the news reporter, will alert to you that, hey, a big piece of news is coming up. Be aware, right? There we have a stochastic indicator, enhanced, pivot point, price level, etc. And that's a quick run through, right, to what you can expect, right, with your Pro Traders Edge membership. And don't forget, right, we have a 7-day free trial. You can come in, right, join it, and by the 7th day, if you realize it's not for you, just cancel it, right? You won't be charged at all, right? You will not be charged a single cent, with the 7-day free trial. Just sign up for it. By the 7th day, you realize this is not for me, email us support@tradingwithrayner.com. We'll just cancel your membership and you won't be billed. All right, so with that said, all right, I'll leave the link below. I'll see you in the Pro Traders Edge, right, and I'll talk to you soon.